The first one came as a shock. I think we all kind of felt like, so it had been a little over 2 years after her first surgery, that the first one ended up happening. So it was we kind of thought we were kind of in the clear from some of the stuff we had heard, and just the fact that it, in the grand scheme of things, 2 years is not that long, but in the moment, 2 years seems like a long time. So when we found out about it, we thought, this can't be happening. And then it quickly went into, okay, so what do we do? We had also been told that although it wasn't a sure thing, most likely the recurrence would occur in the same spot. And that is for the simple fact of just where it occurred the first time. It's kind of in a different spot than where these tumors sometimes occur. So that'd be more likely to just kind of stay where it was. And this one is in a completely different location. And they actually, there's some debate between some of the doctors, when they looked at the MRI, they thought there was a possibility it could just be a blood vessel popping up, just with some of the contrast fluid, and it just could be a swollen blood vessel. But then one of the doctors thought, no, like that's too big for that. So it was, again, we kind of come back to that roller coaster ride of just, is this a recurrence or is it just a blood vessel? And then ultimately come to find out it was not just a blood vessel. It had come back. It was a tough blow, and it kind of made us both realize, okay, maybe we're not quite as invincible as we thought we were. That this is still something we have to deal with. Her dad's tumor never came back. So we really thought, well, she'll be the same way, and we'll just kind of keep going on. So that really changed our outlook on things. But we also realized that it's just one recurrence. Kind of the same process. It was really, really small because we caught it so early, this recurrence. So in process, just take it out, let's radiate it, and then we'll move on. So then just one short year later, when we heard it again, for both of us, that was the hardest one. It's hard to talk about. I think coming to terms with the fact that this may not go the way that we want starts to sink in a little bit more with the third one. We start to feel a little bit more like this is a roller coaster ride that we don't really want to be on anymore. We had the moment right after that diagnosis where we just kind of sat there and felt like there's no way out of this. Like, this is just a process that you're just kind of stuck in. We felt like if there's something bad on TV, well, you just turn the TV off. But this isn't like that. And those emotions really came to the surface after the most recent one. And I think just such the short period of time between this second one and the third one, I think made that all the more overwhelming. Even though we had the second one, we went into it still not really thinking we would hear the news we did, but obviously understanding that it was possible. And so I think that's, for at least in the moment, I know it's still pretty soon after, but it's totally changed the way that we kind of view the situation, and really just have no idea what to expect moving forward. but we remain, you know, we remain so hopeful that this is it. Just not knowing. And I think part of that process has also been figuring out, how do we not let this get us down? How do you still keep living the life that you want to live, despite all those kind of concerns and emotions that have now really floated to the surface? And that's something we're still dealing with. You know, there's still a lot of days where we just have to kind of sit down and talk through kind of what's next and how we can still make plans for our life despite the unknowns going forward.